planned for tonight. But let's talk about
Luis
this game,
Castillo and Joey Cantillo tonight.
On KYC.
Yes.
Cooper Ingle's been called up. It's the
He
start
has.
of a 10-game homestand for the Guardians. It's time to start playing a little better, and hopefully Cooper Ingle could inject a little life into this lineup that's been virtually MIA for the last couple of weeks.
They lost, obviously, all 3 series on the road, 9-game road trip. They lost 2 out of 3 in all 3 series. Now they come home for a 10-game homestand starting tonight. 3 with the Mariners, where Castillo's, at this point, the worst pitcher you're going to face in that series, even though the guy used to be an all-star.
What happened to him?
He's getting old.
He is kind of like
Father Time is undefeated, man.
At one point in time, he was one of them.
Yeah, he was him.
Yeah,
he definitely.
But not anymore.
He ain't him no more.
No, he is not. And then you got tough pitchers you're going to face with the Rangers, and then a 4-game series with the White Sox. I'm very excited about Cooper Ingle getting called up. I've been calling for him to get called up for a couple of weeks now. He's played, I want to say, 10 games in left field down in AAA, and he played the outfield in college. So I think he's going to play the outfield. I don't think he's going to catch. They actually have 4 guys now, assuming they don't get rid of one of the other catchers. I don't know who they're getting rid of. It'll probably be either Petey Halpin or Stuart Fairchild. They'll probably send one of those guys to the minors. If that's the case, they'll actually have 4 guys on the roster that can catch, which I don't think I've ever seen in modern baseball, at least, 4 guys on the roster. But I don't think he'll catch much. I think he'll play left field. I think he'll DH. I think he's going to start against right-handed pitchers because he's a lefty hitter. Mm-hmm. He's a lefty hitter and a righty fielder. His OPS, it was in the high 900s in AAA. You know, in his minor league career, he's played about, I want to say, 260 minor league games,
283.
283?
I have it up right in front of me.
283. Here, you can back me up with this, Mike. He has walked more times than he has struck out in the minor leagues.
That's true. Not crazy.
Not a lot of guys can say that.
No, at all.
209 walks, 199 strikeouts.
That's amazing. Even in AAA, he's got more strikeouts than walks this year, but not by a lot. What's his strikeout walks this year at AAA?
Just in AAA?
Yeah.
41 walks, 50 strikeouts.
Yeah,
almost even.
That's really good. So I'm very excited about him. He's a good hitter. He's hit for power this year. I don't think he's going to be a big power hitter. I mean, you never know. I say I don't think he's going to be a big power hitter because he's not big.
But
he's like 5'8", 190
Didn't he have
or something.
a 3 home run game last week?
He has like a dozen home runs this year, but I think before this year he only had like a total of maybe 15 home runs in his minor league career. So maybe the power's just coming now. A lot of times with a smaller guy, you don't expect him to hit for power, but then again, one Mr. Jose Ramirez is not very big, and he has a ton of power.
I was looking on, I think, MLB Pipeline this morning, and according to their information, he's the Guardians' 3rd overall prospect. He's number 68 on the top 100.
Right.
Versatile, can play the outfield, can catch. Seems to be, gaining some power. I think he set a new career high in the minors with home runs hit.
Yeah.
I think it was like his previous was like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, he had 10 last year.
And so, like, the fact that you just brought up the fact, he's walked more than he struck out, I think that's another sign for young hitters to have that eye at the plate and that plate discipline. That's an encouraging sign. I can't wait to see him get his opportunity. It seems like everybody that we've seen so far, get their opportunity in the big leagues have – showed some flashes or as enough to get the fans a little excited. So hopefully he can make his debut at some point tonight on WKYC.
That's
where
right.
the Guardians take on the Seattle Mariners.
I assume he's going to be in the starting lineup. He has overall 400 on-base percentage in AAA, which is very impressive.
When I'm looking at and kind of projecting the lineup. Now, obviously, he's going to get his first, swings right now. But is it a good or a bad thing that the Guardians potentially have so many left-hand bats? So you look at it, Jose is a switch hitter, so that's cool. Bazana is left-handed. DeLauter's left-handed. Manzardo's left-handed.
Right.
Ingle is left-handed, right?
Yeah.
So Kwan's left-handed.
Yeah.
So how does
if they're going to make a trade for a hitter, which I think they need to get a right-handed bat, because the one right-handed bat they were hoping for was Rhys Hoskins, and he was pretty good the first 2 months. He was solid, but he's completely gone off a cliff this month, and they need an upgrade. And preferably, like we talked about Jarren Duran yesterday, he's another lefty.
Yeah.
I like him, but he's also another lefty. in a perfect world, they would get a big right-handed bat because they're too unbalanced as a lineup.
So
in the end, you want the best hitters you can get, but you do want to be somewhat balanced.
But for some for the laymen,
Yeah.
or for people that say, well, why does it matter? Specifically, let them know why that's a thing in terms of the righty-lefty and how many left-handed batters that they have.
I mean, the reason it's a thing is because not every team has a million lefties, but lefty hitters generally, not always the case, but generally lefty hitters struggle with lefty pitchers, especially lefty-lefty, more than righty-righty, because if you grew up as a right-handed hitter, you mostly face right-handed pitchers. But it is tricky for a lot, unless you're a superstar, a lot of lefties struggle against left-handed pitching. So if your whole lineup is filled with lefties and you're in a playoff series against a team that has a number of lefties in their pitching staff, that's a major disadvantage. So listen, some of these lefty hitters are good, really good young hitters, but they're young and they're going to struggle at times against lefties. So if I'm a team that thinks I'm going to play the Guardians in the playoffs, well, I'm going to load up on some left-handed pitchers. So I think they need, obviously you said Jose's a switch hitter, and that's true. But if I'm the Guardians, I got to get one right-handed bat in the mix.
And the second thing I look at,
Angel's right-handed, but,
yes, he is.
He's hurt. And Zach told me today he doesn't think Angel's going to be back till after the break.
Oh, that's tough.
Man,
That's way longer than the initial report.
Yeah,
Wait.
I mean, it's only a little over 2 weeks till the break, but
why do you guys think? So we watched the Guardians for so long, and they were resistant to bring up one guy. You know what I mean? That's their prospects. But they've brought up from Kafis to DeLauter. They brought Valera up, moved them up and down. They brought Bazana is up now, and he looks like he's paying dividends.
Khalil Watson got caught up.
Watson. What makes them all of a sudden? Is this an organizational mindset change that they're going to say, okay, well, look, instead of playing these veterans who we already know what they are, let's bring these young dudes up there. Has it changed somewhat?
Maybe a little. I just think some of these guys are now older, and so they feel like that. Cooper Ingle's not that young; he's 24. But I think it's also like, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't just keep running out these same, like, Petey Halpin's not a major league starter. He's a bench player. And Stuart Fairchild, to me, is not even a major league player. He's been with other organizations in the past. So I think they've kind of had their hand forced by the injuries. The Guardians overall in recent years have really been a team that has not had a lot of injured players. They've been a relatively healthy franchise. And because I'm such a lunatic and I keep track of everybody's roster, I have a feel for, there's certain teams that have more injuries. And part of the reason why the Guardians are usually near the bottom in terms of injuries is because generally they're one of the youngest teams. And with younger players, you're less likely to see injuries. What teams have the most injured guys usually? The Dodgers, the Yankees. They can overcome it more. But they're filled with veteran players, so veteran players are more likely to get hurt. And coincidentally, the Yankees are a little younger this year than they've been in the past, and so they've been a little less injured. But the Dodgers still have a million injuries. The Astros, another old team, have a lot of injuries. The Padres have traditionally had a lot of older players, a lot of injuries. For whatever reason. I don't know.
Listen,
but,
I'm excited to see him. Make sure you check that game out on WKYC against the Mariners.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get back on track. So I think they've lost 5 out of 6 series, right? The Guardians have.
Yes.
So they gotta get back.
They've lost 6 of 9 and 12 of 18.
I mean, home cooking, right? 10-game home span. I think every team that you're going to face during this homestand has a losing record on the road. And so if you want to find some type of way to kind of, stir some optimism up to see the Guardians get back on track, that's something that you can, put a feather in that cap. The Mariners.
None of these teams are bad, though. They're not playing any bad teams in this homestand, but they're all just kind of mediocre. But so are the Guardians right now. So we'll see. It should be, hopefully they can get on track, and you see Stephen Kwan there. He's been a mess. By the way, Zach Meisel not buying the potential of him going to the minors at all. Mike, I asked him what he thought about it this morning, and he said it's not going to happen. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we haven't done fence riders in a while. We're going to get off that fence and not be fence riders. To Mike's questions, we'll give you answers next on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.